My name is Zachary Ramos. The economist I got to do my report on is John Forbes Nash Jr. John Forbes Nash Jr. is an American economist and mathematician. He won a Nobel Prize in 1994 with his work in economics. He is most known for his work in game theory, and he's known for the Nash equilibrium. Nash was born on June 13, 1928. He grew up in Bluefield, West Virginia, a small city containing lawyers and businessmen. His father was a World War I veteran and an electrical engineer. His mother was a school teacher teaching English and Latin. Nash attended regular schools in Bluefield. He excelled in math and science throughout his high school and college career. He entered Carnegie Mellon University as a chemical engineering student on a full scholarship. He eventually changed his major from chemical engineering to mathematics. After being offered fellowships from both Harvard and Princeton, Nash chose Princeton to attend his graduate schooling. Nash was on the mathematics faculty at MIT from 1951 until 1959. During this time, he managed to solve an unsolved problem involving differential geometry. However, towards the end of his time at MIT, Nash began experiencing mental disturbances. These mental disturbances were eventually diagnosed as schizophrenic or paranoid schizophrenic tendencies. Because of this, he eventually resigned the same year, 1959, from MIT. Nash was in hospitals months at a time, all involuntarily. Eventually, his delusional thoughts and his schizophrenic tendencies went away, and he continued his work in economics and mathematics. At the age of 66, Nash won the Nobel Prize for his work with game theory in economics. Nash won a third of the Nobel Prize in 1994. The main portion of game theory he is recognized for is the Nash equilibrium. The Nash equilibrium is a term used in game theory to describe an equilibrium where each player's strategy is optimal given the strategies of all other players. In other words, if each player knows the other player's strategies, each player will not change their strategies because it will make them worse off. The Nash equilibria are self-enforcing because when players are at Nash equilibrium, they have no desire to move because it won't make them better off. The Nash equilibrium is based off of many fundamental economic ideas that we learned in this class. It involves behavioral economics, cost versus benefit, as well as marginal analysis. The Nash equilibrium has to deal with behavioral economics because behavioral economics states that one player will not make a move unless they're making themselves better off. When it comes to cost versus benefit, a player will always consider cost versus the benefits he gets. This implies to Nash equilibrium because it's assuming that the players won't move as long as nobody else moves because it won't do anything to increase their benefit versus their cost. The Nash equilibrium also relates to marginal analysis because it implies that the players are making decisions at the margin. Because how much is a decision at the margin? This means that the players ask themselves how much they would be losing or how much they would be gaining if they were to change position. And because players won't make a decision unless they ask how much, the Nash equilibrium is self-sustaining because the players will have no desire to move.